You've done everything. The diaper is fresh, their little belly is full, you've burped them, swaddled them, rocked them, sung to them. You've checked all the boxes on the newborn care checklist, and yet the crying continues. That high-pitched, inconsolable wail that goes right through you and frays every last nerve. This is the moment where your confidence as a parent can just evaporate, and you're left feeling helpless, maybe even like a failure. I see you, and I have been you. My name is Sarah, and I'm not a doctor. I'm a mom on a mission to read all the parenting books and studies so you don't have to. Welcome to my corner of evidence-based parenting. Today, we are moving past the obvious reasons a baby cries, like hunger and tiredness. We're going to explore two other, lesser-known, but incredibly common reasons your baby might be crying, and most importantly, how to tell them apart from a cry that signals genuine pain. Let's crack this code together. First, let's start with the simple one, the one that was a total game changer for me. Is your baby just bored? Yes, even a tiny newborn who seems to do nothing but eat and sleep can get bored. Their brain is a little supercomputer, rapidly making new connections, and sometimes staring at the same patch of white ceiling is just not cutting it. Crying, in this case, isn't a sign of distress. It's a request. It's their way of saying, hey, I need a change of scenery. The trick is to catch it early before it escalates into a full-blown meltdown. The early cues of boredom are subtle. You might see them turn their head away from whatever they were looking at, a look of disinterest. They might get a little restless, squirming in their swaddle. You might hear their little coos or grunts pick up in frequency, as if trying to get your attention. If you miss those early whispers, they'll start to shout. The late cues are much more obvious, arching their back as if trying to get away from where they are, kicking their legs intensely, and then the full-blown crying, sometimes with little coughs mixed in to make sure you're listening. Here's the beautiful thing. The solution is often incredibly simple. Imagine your baby is lying in his bassinet. He's been awake for a little while, just staring up at that plain, motionless ceiling. You see him start to squirm, a little grunt, then a whine. The cry is building. You're about to start running through the mental checklist again, but instead you just walk over, scoop him up, and carry him over to the living room window. You point out a big, green leafy plant. The crying stops. Instantly, his eyes are wide, taking in the new shape, the new color, the light. That's all he wanted. Or think of a baby on her playmat. She's been batting at the same plastic rattle for 10 minutes. The sound is repetitive. You notice she drops it. She turns her head, looking away from her toys. She lets out a frustrated whine. She's not hungry, she just ate, but she's over it. You simply reach down, take away the rattle, and offer her a soft, crinkly book. The moment her fingers touch the new texture and she hears that new sound, she's back, re-engaged, focused, and quiet. But what happens when a change of scenery isn't enough? What if the crying seems to have no reason at all, and it happens around the same time every single day? That brings us to our second cause of crying, a phenomenon that is completely normal, totally expected, but often the most misunderstood phase of newborn life, the period of purple crying. I know, the name sounds a bit intense, but it's an acronym that perfectly describes what you're experiencing. Purple stands for peak of crying, unexpected, resist soothing, pain-like face, long-lasting, and evening. Think of this period like a developmental storm. It starts to gather clouds around 2 weeks of age. Then it builds and builds, hitting its peak intensity between 6 and 8 weeks old. During this peak, it is not unusual for a baby to cry or fuss for 3 hours a day, or even more. It feels endless. And typically, this storm rolls in during the late afternoon or evening. For many families, it's like clockwork. The witching hour arrives and so does the crying. But here is the crucial part to hold on to. It's a temporary storm. After that 8-week peak, the clouds gradually begin to part. By 4 months old, for most babies, this period is significantly reduced or gone entirely. Knowing it's a phase is a huge relief. But here is the most important job you have during this time, making the critical distinction between this normal, albeit challenging phase, and a cry that signals your baby is in actual pain. This is, without a doubt, the most vital distinction a new parent can learn. Mistaking real pain for a phase is a risk we never want to take. So how do you tell the difference? It all comes down to the pattern. Imagine your screen splits in two. On the left, we have baby Alex. He is 7 weeks old. Alex's day is pretty good. He eats well, he has a few decent naps, he coos at his mom. But at 6:03 p.m., like a switch has been flipped, he starts to scream. It's an intense, piercing cry. His face turns red, his little fists are clenched. His parents try everything, rocking, shushing, a pacifier, but nothing works. He just cries. For an hour and 15 minutes, he is completely inconsolable. And then, as suddenly as it started, it stops. He takes a pacifier, his body relaxes, and within minutes, he's asleep. The rest of the night, he's peaceful. This is the classic pattern of purple crying. It has a rhythm. It's confined to a specific time, and outside of that window, the baby is generally content. Now let's look to the right side of the screen. This is baby Ben. He is also 7 weeks old. Ben's crying isn't as intense as Alex's. It's more of a constant, miserable, low-level fussing that lasts all day long. He never seems truly settled. He whimpers in his sleep, he fusses during his feeds, pulling away from the bottle or breast as if he's uncomfortable. He doesn't have those happy, alert periods that Alex does. He just seems irritable all the time. There's no pattern, no specific time of day, just a pervasive sense of discomfort. The crying gives his parents the distinct impression that he is never, ever truly comfortable. Do you see the difference? Alex's parents are weathering a difficult but normal developmental storm. Ben's parents need to call their pediatrician. That constant, unpatterned crying that doesn't let up is a sign that something else might be going on. It could be reflux, a food sensitivity, an ear infection, or something else entirely. If your baby's crying looks more like Ben's than Alex's, or if your gut is just telling you something is wrong, that is always your signal to seek professional medical advice. Distinguishing this can be incredibly stressful. Have you ever had a moment where you just couldn't figure out why your baby was crying? Share your story in the comments below. Let's support each other. Okay, that was heavy. Let's take a deep breath together. After all that, let's ground ourselves with the fundamentals. Before you jump to conclusions about boredom or purple crying or anything else, you always start with your back to basics toolkit. Ruling these 3 things out is always your first step. First, hunger. Look for the classic cues. Are their little hands flying up to their mouth? Are they rooting around, turning their heads, searching for a breast or bottle? Are they smacking their lips? If it's been 2 to 4 hours since their last feed, hunger is your most likely culprit. Second, if they've eaten recently, check for tiredness. A newborn's awake window is surprisingly short. If they've been awake for more than 40 minutes, they're probably ready for a nap. Look for tired cues. Are their eyes getting that glazed over, 1,000-yard stare? Are they yawning? Are they starting to rub their eyes or ears? Those are your signals to start winding down for sleep. And third, if they are fed and rested, do a quick discomfort check. The first stop is always the diaper. After that, check their temperature. Don't check their hands or feet. They're often naturally cooler. Instead, feel the skin on their chest or the back of their neck. It should feel warm and dry, not sweaty and hot, or cool to the touch. Make sure their clothing isn't too tight or bunched up. Crying is your baby's only language, and you are learning to become a fluent speaker. Learning to spot the patterns of simple boredom, to identify and endure the phase of purple crying, and most importantly, to recognize the cry that asks for medical help, that is a parenting superpower. And while this video gives you a framework, always trust your parental instinct. It's your most powerful tool. Unceasing, excessive, or unusual crying that just feels wrong to you is always a valid reason to consult a healthcare professional. They are your partners in this journey. For those of you navigating these challenging but fleeting early stages, know that there is so much more to learn about developmental milestones and some incredibly effective soothing techniques, which we cover right here on the channel. If this video gave you even a little bit of clarity and you want to keep building your parenting confidence with evidence-based strategies, make sure you subscribe. Your support helps us continue this mission for parents everywhere. And because you never know when you'll need a refresher in the middle of a 2 a.m. crying session, go ahead and hit save on this video. It'll be here for you.